Hello, I'm Christy Duncan, and I am delighted to be chatting today with Odette Izquierdo Figueroa, who is Treasury and Trade Solutions Head for CCA at Citi, based in Mexico City. Welcome, Odette.
Thank you so much, Christy. Very glad to be here.
I'm delighted to be chatting with you. So let's start by having you introduce yourself to our audience.
As you mentioned, Christy, my name is Odette. I'm based in Mexico. I'm from Venezuela, and I have more than 25 years working in Citibank.
For those who don't know about my career in six, what we do is we start with 6 rapid fire questions, just looking for one word answers. And then we'll follow that with 6 questions, allowing you to dig a little deeper into some of these topics. So are you ready, Odette?
I'm ready.
All right. Who or what inspires you?
People,
Do you attribute your success to luck or hard work?
my work.
What drives you?
What I would say is passion.
Favorite quote or motto that you live by?
I would say that a vision without an action is merely a dream.
When applying for a new opportunity, Odette, what percentage of required attributes do you feel you need to have in order to be confident with your application?
65 to 70%.
And last short question, what do you think is the coolest payments company today?
Citi.
So now that we know a bit more about you, let's move on to the more in-depth questions. So what has been your biggest challenge as you climbed the ladder in the payments industry?
I would say it generates a lot of responsibilities, no? So the only way that you can generate impact, and when I say impact is social impact, is financial inclusion impact, is when you put all the parts together. So, and what are the parts that make this financial system go in the right direction? It goes with regulators, it goes with the financial system, it goes with the right technology, but as well with the fintechs, no? So having everyone have the same agenda and go in the same direction is not easy. Me, as you mentioned before, I manage Central America and the Caribbean. What we try is to influence regulators to bring in best practices every time we sit in a table. We're part as well of the banking system. So what we try is to bring new methods and what has been successful in other parts of the world. And at the same time, we're part of innovation chambers. No, so as a unified group is the only way to have advantage, to see the evolution of the payment system that we have today. And is the only way to create more inclusive economies. That is basically what we're searching for as an institution and what regulators are searching for as well.
What do you feel has been your best accomplishment in your career to date?
I would say is the adoption. I would say is the versatility. And at the end is connecting the dots. Once you have and you've been able to connect the dots and give value to the clients, to the franchise, to the jurisdiction and the geography you're based, I think you made it.
If there's one thing you could have done differently in your career, what would that have been?
Maybe I would have been less shy. Maybe I would have been more outspoken. Maybe I would get out of my comfort zone with more frequency and taking roles with more risk.
How important are networks and connections been in assisting your career in the payments landscape?
They have been fundamental. Every single role that I have taken during my career, it has been a consequence of the prior one.
As a senior female leader, how have you helped shape the culture of the business at Citi?
I have brought into the Central American, the Caribbean, and is within the Citi culture, is inclusion, but not only inclusion of gender, is inclusion of backgrounds, is inclusion of experiences, is inclusion of geographies, of segments, of bringing people from the competition, from other areas. And at the end, this is what generates new ideas, it what generates innovation, it's what generates different perspective that at the end, is what is shaping the story of the success of the payment industry and is what Citi is trying to envision.
Odette, what advice would you give to aspiring women professionals in the payments industry?
Maybe I'm going to give 6 advices, okay? The first one is never stop learning. And why? Because I think this is the most exciting and evolving product nowadays. The other one that I would say is never toast your intuition. we as a woman have a very good intuition. So never toss it and do it on your professional side and on your personal side. Third advice is never compromise your style or your beliefs. No, and it's something that since I began my career, I have always felt that I want to be myself and that no one can change that. And this has been something very successful and useful during my career. But the fourth one, I would say, just do what you said you were going to do. That generate trust in your team, in your boss, in the corporation, and at the end is what is going to generate your success. Fifth advice I would say is really discover the cycle of your life you're at. And what do I mean by this is that we have different cycles during our life and we have different priorities during our life. So once you identify them, you can really guide your professional side, very linked to your personal side. And at the end, what I would advise is every year, what you need is to reflect your career path and try to link it with the cycle of the life you're at. The last one is understand what is your shining spot. Understand what are your boundaries. What you understand them, just make them exponentially and nobody will stop you.
So inspiring. And on that inspiring note, Odette, thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights and your career journey with us here today.
No, thank you so much, Chrissy, for your time. It was a pleasure knowing you.
I want to thank all of our audience for listening and encourage everybody to join us online for this and the many other fantastic episodes of My Career in 6, where we get to chat with inspirational leaders like Odette from around the world of payments.